Like Rohit, and was it a personal mission to sort of to kind of show us the glory of the cops?
See, when we were making it was first of all, Singham was done by Surya earlier,
Yeah.
and that's how we saw the film. And then we made our draft for Hindi audience. And when we were making the first film, it was just an hardcore mass action film,
Right.
like we were planning to. And it was not an agenda that we want to. But yes, definitely, during the making of the film, we did interact with a lot of cops, and how they what they go through, and that was little. I thought okay, this is something which we should tell the audience and show the audience like their side of story, their personal side of story, and that's how it all happened.
Rohit sir, I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Out of the blue.
Ajay, for you, I mean, y'all have, the two of you have really become sort of emblematic of the police. I mean, like, the police force loves you. You're like, for every small thing, they want you as you're almost the sort of unpaid ambassadors for the police force. What is that like, Ajay? Do you feel like that's sort of some, I mean, that's what Singham achieved, and subsequently the films that you've made have achieved?
Yeah, so that's something we are very grateful for. When the original Singhams, the cops, they recognize us. But that also gives you a lot of responsibility. That, little things also. Earlier, when you were younger, you would jump a signal or something like that. Now, after, this kind of respect when you get, you're very, very cautious that intentionally you should not be making any mistakes. So I think in a way it's good also, and a lot of responsibility also comes with it.
Can we talk about the climax? To me, this is the best climax in many years. I haven't seen a better climax, and 13 years ago, it still feels like it's the most innovative, original. It's a claustrophobic. It's race against time. It's feeling like something is going to happen, and it's just amazing. How did you all achieve that? Do you remember shooting it? How do you know whether you're getting it right?
When we were writing the script, the climax of the film, we thought, okay, it's an action film. It has to be like a lot of
big
Scorpios and a lot of people and a lot
many
of fighters and all that. And then we were like, it's not working. And you will not believe that we wrote this thing and we shot in one day.
The whole sequence.
The whole sequence we shot in one day in Goa. So it was like we started writing it, and it was just like the flow was like, okay, I think this will work because people will think that there will be an action climax, and let's do it this way. That's how it happened, and it clicked.
Wow. Ajay, how do you know if it's working? How do you know when you're shooting something whether it's because so much depends on that?
You do get a hint. You realize that things are working, and you also realize when the things are not working. So somewhere, I mean, 99% you're not wrong in that it's working or not working. Deep inside, you feel that. If it's not working, you know when the film will release, then you will know that. But most of the time, you get this inclination that we've gone wrong somewhere.
Who came up with the line? Who came up with that, and what is the story behind that? Again, one of those sort of it's iconic and it's a pop cultural moment.
Genuinely, we had just written because those characters, both Singham and the villain Jaikan Shikre, they were Maharashtrians.
That's right.
And it became an iconic line. And he just says that line once in the film. Otherwise, it's told by the villain, by Jaikan Shikre throughout the film. And we never thought for us it was just a line, and it became again a line which like everybody says now. It's like we never thought about it. No.
Did you remember?
No, at that moment it was just a line.
Just another line.
It's you deliver a lot of lines and you don't know what the audience will lap up.
Yeah.
So it was while doing it, and it was just a line, and it became a cult line.
And the pose? Should we do it? Go for it.
Yeah. Pose, I think it was in the song. Ganesh Acharya had done that, and then I think I'm telling you, nothing was planned. Wow. We were just making a normal mask because we made 3 Golmals by then. We had done all the best by then. And we were doing Bol Bachan after that. So it was all comedies we were doing. And then in between we thought, let's make an hardcore mass action film. And while making it, we was like, if we go wrong, because nobody was making mass action that time, we have Bol Bachan and that will save us. So we never thought that it will become such a big film or it will become like a cult.
You would never plan a super hit film. You only try to make a good film.
Correct.
Super hit happens if
Yeah.
all like that.
Yeah.
When did you?
Most of them 13 years ago, you all must be in school by then.
I asked them. I said,
Oh, so we are like that bachpan ka uncles for you, like. Huh? Oh, you all are going for Singham again, right? Yeah. Okay.
when did you know that there was potential to take the story forward? Also because
I came to him like there is, I think, let's merge into it and make a universe in our country also. Let's see. There was a risk if Simba would have not worked. Singham was coming in that film, and was Suryavanshi as well. So again, it was like a risk we took, and it worked. And then it was like in Hindi, or for the Hindi audience, whether they understand this thing. अच्छा सिंघम कैसे आ गया इसमें, अच्छा अब ये कौन है? But it worked for us, and then after that we all started making universe out of every genre. I think.
Singham's entry in Simba. Do you remember, guys? Yes. I mean, that was pure magic. Ajay, do you remember that? I mean, do you remember sort of playing to the? That was literally playing to the gallery, right?
Yeah, I think, of course I remember that. And actually that started in one only. In one, I think the Scorpio turns in, I get off. So that again became so significant that it had to be repeated, that it became a part of Singham's character.
I think the thing about doing it in Simba was that for a lot of people it was unexpected, right? I mean, of course you've seen the trailer and one had a sense of it, but to just see that, to see another character such a beloved character sort of step into another film, just felt magical completely. And then of course there was Suryavanshi. Rohit, how much confidence did you have that the idea of a universe? I mean, you were doing what hadn't been done certainly in Hindi or in India before. I mean, the closest example was Marvel, and what you've done with Singham again is you've given us the Avengers. You're giving us, you're really giving us the Avengers. I mean, how, like you rightly said previously, everything is a risk, because if one element fails, then the whole universe sort of could collapse. What do you go in? What do you all go in, Ajay? What do you all go in with, knowing that what is the level of confidence, the level of conviction that you need to go in when the stakes are that high?
I think making a commercial film, conviction is the only thing which works, because other than that, everything is against you.
Yeah.
Where logic is concerned, or where a segment of audience is concerned. It's a risk which you take when you make a commercial, hardcore mass film. It's risky. And it will always be risky. But we've been fortunate enough that it has worked in our favor.
And I think it's also step by step. I mean, you take a baby step, like we did one, and then we realized there can be a 2 because we got this kind of response. Then after 2, it was a baby step that let's do Simba and then merge Singham in it. And then, it's like as the audience starts accepting things, you take steps. So and you reach a point.
And I think honesty is also very important in that. Like we can't, just because people love the character, we can't make the same thing again.
Right.
With like the budgets are like 10 times more.
Correct.
For Singham again. The scale is 10 times bigger, but that is what we have to work on now for the audience.
No, Ajay, I think most people here will know, and everyone knows you're a very secure actor, and I think, and maybe Rohit will jump in and sort of add to this. I assume it requires a lot of confidence and security to have that big heart and say, let's open this universe up, let's have more characters come in, let's have other stars come in. Did you ever wonder whether Ajay would be open to that?
I see, because I always give.
And the beauty really is that the Avengers are coming into the Singham film. It's not, this is not an Avengers film. This is the Singham film where the other Avengers are sort of coming. It's very much the owner of the franchise.
When you see the film also, like there is one more growth where Singham takes, like what we are talking about,
right.
like how the universe will expand. It's there. There is a hint of that in that film. And coming back, that's what I give as example to a lot of other actors, especially in today's time. Like you can't make a golmaal. Like there have been times like we narrate a scene and he will tell me कि अरे ये कुणाल को दे दो. Kunal will He's one actor who's always worked for the film, not for himself.
How rare is that, Rohit?
For me, it's the rarest. Keeping the new generation in mind. Rest, I don't know.
No, I think people who think that we are competing with each other in a film, they are in the wrong business. Because the idea is that eventually the film matters. And if the film works, everybody is appreciated. If the film doesn't work, nobody is appreciated. So you should do what works best for the film. And that can only happen when you are working for the film and not for yourself. So I think some of the people who don't think like this, who are in this business, should not be there.
The magic of having sort of 6 superstars in a film is one thing, but the logistics of it must be quite insane, no, Rohit? What is it like to actually, to just put it together?
It was crazy. Not handling them, obviously, keeping the budgets in mind, keeping everything in mind, keeping the screen, like in the climax, all of them are together. So, yeah, it was, I would say, it's difficult. Where production is concerned. I'm not talking about them being on the set together. I've been fortunate enough that they all were friends and we had a great time where everyone coming together is concerned. But yes, I think we had a team of around 1,000 people when we were shooting the climax.
Wow.
Like if you see the climax, a few shots are there. Like the team from South Africa was there, who shoots Fear Factor for us.
Wow.
They were there. The team from Bangkok was there. My team was there. So we all came together for the climax. And I think the experience what kids will have now when they watch Singham against Climax is like something like I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
It's turned out really well.